Hey friendos, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Matt. We are back with Marvel Future Fight update details for the upcoming Spider-Verse update. And yeah, this is amazing. I think we've been fed leftovers and rehashes so many times, we actually forgot that Marvel Future Fight can actually cook. And yeah, this is a pretty spicy update, I gotta say. So I hope you've got your palettes ready because this is surprisingly good. I'm impressed. There's a lot to get through today. We've got obviously the uniforms, we've got tier 3s, tier 4s, transcended, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's get into it. So first things first, and this is the bit that I was really impressed by. They finally listened to the community. Oops, I was trying to highlight it. I guess it won't let us. But yes, we actually get an actual transcended brand new character rather than coming in and being absolutely useless, being only able to go to level 70. And this one we actually get, even though they're a premium character, we actually get them free with the event quest, which is amazing. I always say that they should do it, they should add it into the future pass, but adding it into the event quest is just as good. So very excited for this. So yeah, we have a new speed villain in Spot. You can see his leadership is not the best, but there we go. Passive, pretty standard. Same with the tier 2 passive, chain hit damage, and then we've got the whole guaranteed dodge skill damage bonus damage. That's pretty much standard for characters in 2022, 2023, but hey, still good. We can see that he does have some interesting skills coming from the 3rd onwards. We've got the heal on the 3rd, 60% chance to penetrate, stun, fear, silence. Then we got stun on the 4th. So yeah, he's looking pretty good. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see how he is in game. He's looking pretty much PvE oriented, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we get the new uniforms for the existing characters. So starting off with Miles, he is getting a new uniform, which doesn't look to be improving in terms of the actual uniform effect a massive amount. I can't remember if last time it was 10%, or it might even be the same. But in terms of the actual skills is what we're more interested in, really. Obviously the uniform passive being buffed is always nice, but it's not the be all and end all. Looking through this, it does very much look like he's built for World Boss Legend. We've got the increase to super villains, which doesn't really play too much into PvP as things stand. We'll wait and see. Everything else looks like a decent improvement in terms of damage wise. He's got the web, he's got the silence, he's got on the 4th, he's got remove active buff from target, so that could be an interesting one. Hopefully that will lead to something more interesting, whether it's in Alliance Conquest or PvP, but we'll have to see how he plays, obviously. Then moving on to Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, we can see pretty similar. I don't want to say exactly the same, but he's very similar to Miles in terms of the increases chain hit damage, and then decreases damage. But again, it's increasing to boss type, so again, it's looking like being that PvE route. Is passive at tier 1 and tier 2. Interesting, it doesn't change again there at tier 3, which is a bit of a shame. But at least he has something there, which is new, bit different. Having something that changes depending on how high level you have them. And then again, we've got all of his skills with burn, stun, silence. He's got recovery, remove active buff there on the 5th, as well as paralysis. So it could be interesting to see if he's a powerhouse in PvE in terms of ABX, ABL, as well as World Boss. Again, we shall have to wait and see. And then we have Jessica Drew, who I do love this new look for her. I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I think she looks really cool. We have her awakening skill, which she already has. Okay, so let's see. Mother of Spiders increases all attacks by 40%, and then removes all buffs. So again, she's pretty much staying a leadership for the spiders, along with having some decent damage herself, especially with the shock and the stun. Burn, shock, web on the 5th, and a chance to penetrate. So as much as I'd like to see them getting use outside of PvE, I can't see anything here that really leans in the PvP space. Although if they bring in other things to Otherworld Battle and we can have a full spider team, that could be very interesting. But we shall have to wait and see. So also Miles gets his tier 3, so let's have a look. Very standard, as we see from all tier 3s these days, just burn, bleed, stun, paralysis, buff to damage. It looks cool, it looks very cool. But here we actually get something worth waiting for. Spot a brand new character and actually gets a Transcendence. They finally, in the words of The Rock, they actually finally listened to us and they gave us what we wanted. A new character we can actually use in endgame content. So big congrats to the team for actually listening to us. And they gave it to the boy Scorpion as well. So that's pretty amazing. And then the surprises don't stop there. Yes, we move into a whole new surprise. One that wasn't advertised, but was pretty much on the cards ever since we got the legendary battle for Quantumania, and that's Kang, World Boss Legend. And this does look really good. For those of you who saw the live stream with 3RL last night, you saw him having a go at one of the stages. I don't know how high or low he was doing it, but it looks like he is going to be the toughest boss. For those of you who've already played the legendary battle, I imagine the fight that we have with Kang at the end of the 3rd legendary battle is going to be pretty much the same. Not in terms of difficulty, it's probably going to be a hell of a lot harder and last a lot longer, but certainly in terms of mechanics, what you need to watch out for. So I think it's going to be interesting if you want to get a bit of practice in there first. But yeah, it's going to be very cool to see how difficult he is and how people go about beating him and what the conditions are going to be. He drops Mighty Greeds. As we all know, all characters in World Boss Legend drop a Mighty CTP of something. Still no Rage though, so that's a bit disappointing. Don't know who it's going to be, who we're going to get, who's going to be dropping that, but we'll still have to wait and see. Now, they have made a nice little improvement here, just a tiny little quality of life improvement, so you can choose all the World Boss Legend characters, which is really handy. So when you go to reset to try and find someone, you don't have to just keep on going through and through and through. If you want one in particular, you can select one. If you just want any of the World Boss Legend characters, you can select them all. Just hit that repeat button. A couple of other little improvements that they mentioned there about damage calculation and activation for different phases for Jean, so that could be interesting to see how she plays now. And then we move on to other world battles, and it actually states that we're getting, from season 2, we're actually getting characters who will be debuffed, who are going to be nerfed essentially certain weeks. So I imagine that's going to play pretty much the same as Timeline Battle, where you get recommended heroes, banned heroes, but this is going to be nerfed or debuffed heroes and villains. I hope they bring in more. I hope they bring in teams. I know a lot of people have been saying it. Just going through this X of Swords stuff, nothing really exciting here. But yes, it does say from the start of Season 2 we will be seeing more things coming into Otherworld Battle. So let's touch wood and hope that they bring in teams, because I think that would really save Otherworld Battle. We really need to see some more interesting mechanics being put into that. And then we get the new artifacts. As is standard these days, we all know when we get a new update, characters who don't have artifacts as yet will get them. Unfortunately, there's nothing too spicy here. These are all pretty vanilla. They're all just self-applying ones, so nothing that you're really going to need to, you know, have as a passive for a team. It's all just going to be self-buffing things, so nothing to worry about if you're going to miss out on any of those. Then we have the Future Pass. Again, nothing very exciting here, but they did put Spot in the Event Quest token shop, so that makes up for that. I can see a lot of people going for this Gamora. This Sword of the Ravagers is an awesome looking icon, so I can see people simping for that, especially because it's in the Legendary, not the Mythic. Then we have a couple of Spidey and a Deadpool, which is interesting. I don't know if they're trying to throw us off the scent of mid-month Spider-Gwen. But there we go. Then we just get some other basic improvements. This stuff is more for beginner players, low-level players. It's just mentioning things about Shield Academy. Invite All has been added to GBR. That's pretty nice. And then just some standard quality of life changes, which is pretty good. And then a final tiny little surprise at the end here as we were scrolling down, and it was kept very, very quiet, but they're actually increasing the cap on ABX and ABL. So I know a lot of people who've been complaining about being able to cap out early on and not be able to do much. They should be happy now, because that has been increased quite significantly. So yeah, that's great. And then just some other little tiny features, and that's that. Awesome. I think this is an amazing update. I can't wait for it to go live. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and until next time, I shall catch you guys later. But yeah, bye for now.
We await your return, warrior.